I did George Ruth Jr., the babe. His early life, he was born February 6th, 1895 in Baltimore, Maryland. He had 8 other siblings, sort of, at birth, but him and his sister was the only one who actually lived. He was a troublemaker pretty much from the start, I guess, because by the time he was 7 years old, he was already getting sent off to live at St. Mary's Industrial School in Baltimore, living with a bunch of monks to teach him how to not be as bad as he was. Which is, I mean, that's pretty amazing. He was only 7. He was already that bad. I mean, his parents worked for a living, and him and his sister didn't have much guidance. They kind of just lived on their own, and didn't go well for him. So the monks started teaching him how to play baseball to keep him out of trouble. And he got a bunch of different nicknames, all from like the major leagues. The Babe is the most important, and the one that he usually goes by. He got it from the guy who actually found him in the Monk Institute was Jack Dunn, and he was for the Orioles, and he brought him into the major leagues at such a young age that Jack Dunn had to actually adopt him just so he could draft him. And so he got the name Jackson Lewis Babe. And then the other ones are the Bambino, the Sultan of Swat, the Colossal of Cloud, the King of Clash, and there's a lot more. In his early career, he started off at Jack Dunn with the Orioles. He came to the league through them, but went to the Red Sox. He started out as a pitcher. I mean, he did both, but didn't really hit as much. They said that he really, when he hit, he was so powerful and he hit home runs, but he wasn't hitting for average at the time, so they kept him as a pitcher. Bless you. And, so he was such a good pitcher that they didn't even let him hit yet. And so in 1915, he went, I think it was his second year, his first year pitching, he went like 8-1 or something with a decent ERA, but he wasn't even pitching full time because he was a rookie. So he won his debut and went on to do okay. And then he went 18 for 8 with an ERA of 2.44, which is pretty ridiculous in the major leagues. And then he continued to just go
I'm sorry,
even better.
I never interrupt speeches, but I don't know what ERA means. Is that earned run average? What does that mean?
It's earned run average. So when you're pitching, you give up runs eventually. Always do. And then, so when you give up a hit, and then the guy gets a second and give him another hit, the guy scores, that's an earned run. But you can have other runs that aren't earned. Like if someone makes an error and the guy gets on first base and that guy ends up scoring, that doesn't count towards your ERA, the pitcher's ERA. It counts for just a run scored against him.
But a 2 is really low. Is that out of 100?
That's out of how many innings he pitched.
Oh.
So he probably pitched so 26 games that first season. He probably pitched anywhere from 100 to 150 innings.
And
so it goes by like every 9 innings. So he gave up when he pitched 9 innings in a row in one game, he gave up an average of 2.44 runs every game.
Okay.
So and then he goes on to just continue to get better every year, going 23-12 next year, and then going with a 1.75 ERA, and then another one he got one more win the next year with a 2.0 ERA. And he was hitting a little bit, but like I said, he wasn't a full-time hitter. He started batting in 1918, and so as a batter, his first season, I think it was only a half season he played, he hit 11 home runs, which at the time, in 1919 I believe, was the record. He tied the record that year, only playing half the season. So the next year he comes out as a hitter only, hits 19, which is a new major league record, which is pretty insane because 19 is not a lot of home runs, especially for today. You have, I think Bryce Harper hit like 60 last year, and then there's others that are hitting 50 every year. And then he continues, the next year, and after hitting 19, he got traded from the Red Sox to the Yankees, which actually that's what kind of started the curse. And then,
That I know.
so that was probably it's probably the worst trade ever in baseball to this day. And so from that point on, he kind of went off. He did what nobody else has ever done, and it took 34 years for anyone to do anything like what he did. Going in 1920, the next year, he beat his own home run record. He actually demolished it and ended up going and hitting 54 home runs the next year, which is, even like today, it's amazing. And then the next year, he one-upped it again, and hit 57 home runs, drove in 171, and scored 177 runs, and batted 376. Does everyone know what the batting average 376 would be?
Does that mean every time he's up at the plate, he's got a 4 out of 10 chance of hitting the ball?
Pretty much, getting a hit.
Okay.
And he did that while putting up all of the home runs, too. So, it was unreal. And then he's, like, his slugging percentage is how many times you get a double, triple, or home run out of all those hits. He did that with an 846 slugging percentage. I mean, some people will start off a season, go like a month in with that high of a slugging percentage. He went a full season like that. So during his career, he hit 714 home runs, which is the most of any player of that for that time, and it held up for, I want to say, until like the 80s.
1977.
77? Yeah, it was close.
Hank Aaron. My mom made me watch the game.
That game,
I bless her
saw
for
that
that.
game. So he had, when he left the league, he had 56 different records set, both pitching and hitting. With the Yankees, he helped them win, go to 7 pennants and 4 World Series titles. And he's probably considered one of the best baseball players in history still. He did things nobody else did, especially at that time. He was inducted to the Hall of Fame in 1963, and the Yankees retired his jersey in 48. He was really amazing off the field, but he was a pretty terrible role model.
Yeah.
He drank, smoked, he pretty much did whatever he wanted. He didn't really care about it. He had some quotes online that I kind of wanted to say, but really shouldn't. I left him out. He just lived unhealthy. He literally drank and smoked every day and didn't care and just went out and played. The one quote, kind of sad, sum it up. He said, "If I can drink and smoke and do the things I do, then maybe you guys should, and you'll be as good as I am with that." And then I guess it kind of caught up to him. He wasn't that old, but he got a tumor in his neck and died shortly after in August of the 48. I think he was alive when they retired his number, but I'm not 100% sure. I think it was right when he got sick, the Yankees retired his number. And these are some pictures of him. It's a baseball he signed. Those are worth a ridiculous amount of money. And then he doesn't even look coordinated at all. It's kind of funny looking at him. He's just like a big oaf up there.
Pretty much.
He just hit the ball well and drank a lot and smoked a lot and didn't really care what people thought about him. And that's it. That's Babe Ruth.
All right.